for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About YouABQ.
Oh, season three.
What's it going to be?
Where do you want to be? Yeah. Welcome back. It's the YouABQ podcast. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests that you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can follow us up here on social media or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage, home loan expert.
You probably remember Grant Harvey's beard as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
Wait, where have we seen this guy? Was it HGTV's House Hunters and part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city?
Yeah, that's me. Season 3, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Chantelle and Roxanne from Big Jim Farms. Talk about having some roots in the Albuquerque area. They have a fantastic story, some cool charities that they're pushing.
Plus, Chantelle and Roxanne sounds like a good R&B group from the
They're
80s.
going to be performing their new single.
So they're going to go up and do their little number.
Their new single, yeah, all about Big Jim. And then stay tuned. Grant's going to jump into the Mortgage Minute. But also at the end of the show, it's everybody's favorites. I don't have to tell you about it. It's Skip's Tips, Season 3. Welcome, Grant. So we had a little bit of a break, a little hiatus, took a couple weeks off to get our lives together.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I am 44 now. As you can tell, my beard is all white.
You are so, I'm not good on the talk, but you are getting the kind of whitey.
Whitey Ford now is the new host. So yeah, Grant, dude, I turned 44, man. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so, a lot like we talked about earlier is, what's our famous saying? The best time to buy real estate is?
20 years ago. The second best time is today. Just get into it.
Yeah, yesterday, right? So I put my money where my mouth is, and I went and I put an offer in a property, and so let's see how it's going.
Well, it's going pretty well, and I'll tell you a little bit why I like the new property that you chose. Now, you've always been a west side rider when it comes to Albuquerque, always been on the west side of the river, and we know that there's a big rivalry between us East Side kids and you West Side kids. Yeah. But welcome, dude. Welcome to the Northeast Heights. Dude, we got you up by the mountain.
It's not something I want to really embrace, but because Heights kids just need to be punched. But no, it's a great piece of property, and it's hard because that property was my baby Skip. So Skip's a Heights guy, but he lived with me for a while, and he's also experienced that I do not turn up the heat at all. In winter, there's no gas.
Coldest house in America.
Yeah.
But so I think it's cool because you now get to see the market through the eyes of the buyer, through the eyes of a borrower.
Yeah.
And now you understand how stressful it is when you're filling out the application and providing proof of funds and going through bank statements. It can be a hassle, and so I think it'll be a learning experience for you too to understand what your consumer is going through.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a perspective of what it's like to be self-employed because they're raking me over the coals, and I thought I was super prepped and I gave them everything they needed, and they're really handing it to me. So I think I have a new sentiment and empathy for self-employed borrowers, right?
But also too, going through the real estate transaction as the buyer side and going through home inspections and understanding that you are buying a used home and there are some things that you would like to see fixed, but there's no guarantee that the seller is going to jump in and make those repairs for you. So again, it's always good for me as a learning experience going through it with you as well. But cool. Now we have this graphic up on the screen. So let's talk a little bit about a current event here. So again,
my glasses can't even see.
So Redfin released a study now where we're talking about Albuquerque real estate. Where are people relocating from? And typically we've always had a net population here in Albuquerque, meaning the same amount of people leave as come here. But you'll notice on the left side, so most of the people that are relocating here are coming from Los Angeles, most recently as it turns out. LA, San Francisco, a lot of California buyers coming in. And to speak to that, we've had a lot of people from Seattle making out the top 5. So you can see the number of people that are searching for homes here in Albuquerque. And then on the right side, you see, where are Albuquerque kids?
People are leaving to Boise?
Well, everywhere. People from all over the country are going to Boise, but you can see there's not too many people leaving Albuquerque as there are coming in. So I think that's always a great stat, and it kind of speaks to our market here and our population growing.
Can we talk about something?
Yeah.
People are leaving Albuquerque for Asheville. You know how expensive it is to be in Asheville?
Well, it's got to be some sort of job training.
I have two. So my best friend delivers premature babies and married another specialist that delivers premature babies. And they live in Asheville, and they go, yeah, it's expensive here.
Yeah.
So you guys are making $1.5 million a year, and it's expensive?
Yeah.
I want to meet the people that are leaving here to Asheville.
Well, maybe they'll be moving back soon. So we'll stay in touch with
Once
them.
they get out of their apartment.
But no, let's circle back to my birthday, because one of the cool things about Albuquerque and the surrounding areas is that there's little gems, little hidden gems, and we were able to find a place to go camping, and it's called Field Trip. And I want to give a special shout out to Field Trip. We'll have a link to their social media here, but one of the cool things is, and Mark, yeah, here it is up here. So this couple came out from California and bought this old defunct campground. And it used to be a summer camp for one of the churches in the areas. It's a 6-acre parcel. And it came with a couple of cabins on it, but they revamped everything. So you got 2 full cabins, completely modernized, an A-frame. And then on the 6 acres, they also have tents that you can rent out. And then they have Airstream trailers that you can come and rent out. And so it's all connected with this big shared space with a big open fire pit and kitchen. And
What city is it?
So it's in, what is it, right outside of Santa Fe?
Everything's outside of Santa Fe. Pewaukee, Tesuque.
No. God, why can't I remember? It's not the Mark.
Pecos?
Pecos, thank you.
You want to know why I know that? Because I was a Boy Scout and I got traumatized by the Pecos.
Camping in the Pecos. But so that's where we went for my 44th. We did some fly fishing. We had a private chef. So it's really like a nice glamping situation.
It's funny that you go fishing and then you need a private chef.
Well, yeah.
You're probably admitting that you're a bad fisherman.
Yeah, so check out this. Check out this scenery of the whole campground. It's kind of very tranquil. This is me flying over the trees. But shout out to Field Trip. Go check them out, man. Nice little family excursion.
That's pretty cool. I find out a lot about you when we talk, because you have a family and I don't.
Yeah, so we do different things. I go to bed at 9 o'clock, as it turns out. We have a family.
I just punched my computer monitor when the Lobos lose the Air Force twice.
Well, let's talk about mortgages.
Anyways, get your mind off that. Let's start our mortgage minute. A lot of my friends are W-2 borrowers, and they're constantly just getting hacked by taxes, and I get it. I think that a lot of people will try to get out of their property and sell their property and get into another one, which could lead you to capital gains. But where I'm going with this is, I think advantageously, as a W-2 borrower, keep your rental property, take your depreciation, take all the expenses, and move into the next one. You may not have as much equity or down payment, but you are going to have tax advantages that a W-2 person cannot exact. So I guess my mortgage minute is about, if you're W-2'd, don't sell that property. Get in the next one. And then all your expenses can be itemized, because I don't think a W-2 employee has that many liberties when it comes to expenses and deductions. So that's my mortgage minute.
That's always good info, and I always look back, and it's my first couple properties I had, I was just chasing that big picture of just sell it, keep that money, you get that money, and roll it over. And now looking back, if I would have held on to those first 3 properties.
But don't you firmly believe in that? Like, that's what I'm going to do. And the thing is, on this show, I'm going to say, like, I'm putting my money where mouth is. Like, I'm buying a property at a high interest rate, and I'm keeping my house as a rental, right? I mean, it's
a gamble, it's a risk, but the reward will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's scary. And Skip, what's funny is we've been in the business so long, and I had to call Skip, and I go, okay, dude, what am I doing? He's like, you have to keep this as a rental.
Yeah.
And you need that. But what it did is it gave me more perspective and more empathy to like what my customers are going through all over again. It gave me a good class of like, yeah, it's scary.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of
scary,
stress.
but like stay the course.
Here's where you're going to want to stay tuned. Chantelle and Roxanne from Big Jim Farms. And dude, to speak to fun things to do with the family, Big Jim Farms has some fantastic things to do that we got to explore. So I'm excited to hear more about the backstory. So here's where you're going to want to stay tuned. Chantelle and Roxanne coming up with some Big Jim Farms info. Season 3. This is the YouABQ podcast. Oh, welcome back to Season 3 of the YouABQ podcast. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage, home loan expert.
Outstanding, dude. Yeah. So Chantelle and Roxanne from Big Jim Farms are joining us in studio today to talk about some projects they're working on, all things Albuquerque and Corrales, but also, dude, Big Jim Farms. If you guys are not aware of what Big Jim Farms is, let's welcome Chantelle and Roxanne to the show. Thank you guys for being here today.
Hi, thank you.
So, look, the goal of the show is we always want to highlight local businesses, but tell the backstory of people that grew up in New Mexico and Albuquerque, the surrounding areas, and just figure out why they decided to stay. What's it like doing business here? But talk a little bit about your backstory, Chantelle, because I know you and Grant go back a little ways, but you have deep roots in the city here.
Yeah, so my great-grandfather actually came to the area in Corrales and bought property back in the early 1900s and started farming. So I'm fourth-generation farmer. Our whole family has to like help on the farm since we're little. So it's just something that I really love. But I went to school. That's how I met Grant for finance and accounting. Became a CPA and did like the whole corporate world and just decided that I would rather be at the farm.
So when we talk about New Mexico farmers, I typically don't expect like these beautiful women nicely dressed, like well spoken. You always figure they're coming out in overalls and stuff. So that's great. I think it's cool to have such a big finance background and then go back to the true love, which is playing in the dirt.
Well, I think you and I have talked about. I think that we have in the 1800s went back and had this venture to get away from farming. And I think that every common man goes, I can't wait to get back to our roots, right? I can't wait to find out where my food's coming from. I can't wait to get away from people. I want a big plot of land. We had this big, what I would say is like motivation to get to city life. And then I think
a renaissance to go back to.
Yeah. We want to figure out where our food's coming from. And for me personally, like I was a city guy. But man, do I respect farming. Like I'm like, man, I love it and it's my passion. And so I think that farmers needed to actually get some respect, right?
So Roxanne, talk a little bit about your backstory, because I know that you married into the farm life.
Yeah, actually I'm a native of Albuquerque. I grew up and married into a farming family and
Yeah. Talk about some of the things that you guys enjoy about our city. Now, I know you've had some experience being outside of Albuquerque and then coming back. What is it about Albuquerque that you find nostalgic or romantic or charming, and what do people need to know about our city?
This time of year is just so perfect. It's my favorite, just being outside, and you have the leaves turning, and it's so beautiful everywhere you turn, the sunsets.
So let's talk about what you guys have to offer, though, because I'm going to brag for her. She won't brag for herself. What do you guys provide every fall, right? Like, your farm experience.
Yeah, so that's like why I love it, because it's our harvest. So it's all the work we've put into it for the whole year. We're now harvesting everything, and we're inviting the public to our farms to pick and have the same experience and experience what we love so much. And so,
what the heck is Big Jim Farms?
So Big Jim Farms is a you-pick farm, so people can come pick their own green chili. That's how we started, by focusing on chili, roasting in the fields, and then we've expanded and extended our season to include sunflower picking and then pumpkin picking. And this year we're going to add a Christmas component with Christmas trees. And
so overall, let's talk about, because I know you have a couple different farms, a couple different ventures, but overall, I mean, do you guys, what you told me was fascinating, in the fact that you guys don't own the land at Big Jim Farms, you're leasing it from the city. Is that?
Yeah, so it's actually an open space. So it was bought by the city in the 80s to preserve it. It was a farm before, and it was going to be developed, and they wanted to protect it for people to enjoy. So a lot of what they use it for now is like hiking, marathons, and just different things for people. But now with the agriculture aspect, we're inviting the public to come like into the fields to pick, which is adding to the experience of it, enjoyment.
So what I hear you saying is that each season you guys provide a different experience for locals, right? We talked about this time of year when you guys were doing green chili roasting, you have the opportunity to come down, walk through the farm. And
I've been a part of that.
Yes.
I picked
Yeah.
the chilies. It was so fun.
It's about the most New Mexican thing you can do.
Yeah, get in there.
And you guys provide this experience. So how does it work? So we just show up and just start running wild and picking stuff, or?
Yeah.
Well, they give you a
Pretty
bucket,
much, yeah.
and you must
And-
check in with them, or Chantelle will beat you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk
show
about
you
the
a little
experience,
bit.
because I took my daughter to Big Jim Farms, and we just walked around and got the feel of the shady cottonwood trees along the riverbank, and then we noticed there was people roasting green chilies and making ristas. But talk about the experience, start to finish for the consumer.
Yeah, so we want them to see the whole thing from when we plant it. So we invite volunteers out to be part of the spring and summer. And then when the harvest, they come and pick the chili. We tell them how to do it, and we give them a basket. Then they get it roasted, so they can go home with their families and have that tradition of peeling it. And then we're also offering classes with red chili to make ristras. With our Christmas experience, we're gonna continue it on from taking the chili off the ristra to make red chili sauce, make tamales, pozole.
Wait.
Well, I didn't know that was possible.
You're supposed
You
to
could take
recycle
it off of the ristra.
and then make.
Yeah, that's like kind of the whole point of ristras.
Yeah. That's
Well,
how
yeah,
it's
because
preserved.
all the
Yeah.
white guys didn't know that you could do that.
Wait. So time out. So what's the purpose of the rista is what? To hang the
dry
chilies
it
and dry them out.
and
Per
so you can
season.
eat it. Well, you could save it for several years.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like do your
Right
thing.
now, when it's fresh, you make the ristra and
Wait,
dry
so is it with you make it out of the green? You wait till it turns red?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the chili
this is like
starts
amazing.
green on
starts
the plant
green.
and turns red, the same plant. So that's a question people always ask, so it's not. But it turns
Don't
red.
feel bad.
Red is right.
Yeah, it's the final
red.
stage of
Okay.
the chili. And then before there was like freezers, you would have to save it somehow so you could get the whole year. So you would tie it and make a ristra, and then you just take it off.
So let me tell you about myself. I'm a Herrera, right? So 1/4 of me is Herrera, and I had a grandpa that would take the red chili and make it a little paste, and you have tortillas homemade, right? This kid can't relate to this.
Here we go. Because I'm from the
Really, right?
Heights. Yeah.
But like that's how it goes, right? I mean, that's how you make red chili. Is you break the red chili pods down into making a sauce. So I didn't know that I didn't know you could break the ristas down.
I didn't know that.
That's
either.
blowing my
fantastic.
mind.
Yeah.
So let's do the next thing because I don't want to miss this. So now your next endeavor, right? You got a grant. Let's talk about that. Got a grant. She's got a grant already.
So yeah, we got a grant from Albuquerque Tourism, because what we do right now as Green Chili YouABQ Farm is promoting the culture and tourism. So we are extending the season to Christmas, and so they thought it would be a valuable addition. There's not a whole lot going on during that time of year, and we're focused on New Mexico traditions around the holidays. So what makes it special for us here? So when people come to visit, they can really like immerse themselves in all these different things, so it would feel like home. So
Yeah.
all the food is all going to be centered around that
So
experience.
what was the process though, right? I mean, so you got
Yeah.
this grant, how'd you apply for it?
We applied for a grant, so there was a lot of applicants, and they picked a few other people also in the city that they thought their projects would contribute to tourism and our heritage.
Didn't you get the max?
Yeah. So it was started
Because
10,000.
she's too humble.
Yeah.
Right? So she got the max grant they could because I think it had some merit, right? So,
They thought it would be a great addition. So we got $50,000 to get this going, and then we would match on our ends another $50,000. So it would be like a total of like $100,000 to kind of get the Christmas thing going.
what's wonderful, I think, that her story and why I like Chantelle so much over the years is there is obviously a way to make a living, and there's a way to embrace civic duty. And so you guys have made a living and also had the community get involved. and make it seem like I don't know, a communal event, right? I mean, you guys get everyone in there.
Yeah.
You're not profit takers. You make sure that everyone like kind of believes in the cause, and that's kind of where I really was like amused when a few years ago, and I went to your Corrales property, and I was like, oh my gosh, like these guys, they're making a living, but like how well are they doing about getting everyone excited about?
Yeah.
So what I think is great that you guys have embraced it. So talk a little bit about, at the beginning of the year, you start with spring and sunflowers. So there's what,
That's
acres
gotta
of
be
sunflowers
new,
as well?
Yeah, it's like our third year, I believe, this year. So it became really popular. People love to go take pictures in the sunflowers and
Yeah, the millennials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pictures.
So what does that look like? So there's just fields of sunflowers, and what do you make it for a donation or something? You can walk in and pick, or how does it work?
Well, they come and get clippers, and they go out and pick, and then pay per bloom, and then when they come back with their flowers, we have vases, put water, and trim them up.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then so from there we transition into pumpkins or
Chili.
and then pumpkins, and then we go into Christmas
Now
wreaths.
we're doing Christmas.
So you're going to have like a Christmas tree farm essentially set up, and we can
Yeah.
cut branches off of our Christmas tree and make them into.
You cut branches off?
We're gonna have like Christmas trees, yeah. So you can get a Christmas tree, but we'll have poinsettias and wreaths, luminarias. We're inviting the community to participate in this event. So we're asking like local, like artists and musicians and vendors and
food trucks.
So talk about the events and philanthropies that you guys have coming up at Big Jim Farms. I know we were talking about doing a coat drive this year as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's touch it.
The coats. That's why we're here.
So being the season it is for Christmas, we want to have like a charitable aspect. We're donating like proceeds from the Christmas trees and whatnot to local charities for like families and children and agriculture. And then we're also wanting to be like a drop-off area for different like projects like Coats for Kids or food drives, and we're gonna do farm dinners featuring local farms, not just us, around Christmas food, and we're gonna donate some of that to local shelters that may not have access to local food and that type of thing. So everything that we're trying to do, we're trying to give back.
I think that's a beautiful story. I think that's everything that is, the YouABQ show, and it's always nice to hear people that grow up here and then turn around and give back to the community. And I think it's great that you're spreading the word about red chili and our culture here, especially during Balloon Fiesta time. I'm sure there's people from all over the world descend upon Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So not only photo ops from the sunflowers, but I think that they take a little piece of us home.
So the coat drive is something that I've been doing for 7 years with the Lobo Hockey team, and I'm going to combine forces with her, so we get even bigger conglomerate. But when her and I were talking, she's like, "I'm going to do a coat drive." I'm like, "Oh my God, like you are pumping my tires. Let's talk about this." But I do think that you in our combined forces, we're gonna get a lot of coats. But we have to start now. Here's the deal: we have to start now. The thing is, a lot of people will go, "Oh, well, I have a coat." I'm like, "It's December 12th. I guess I'll get a coat." But like, we have to start now. How are we going to distribute the coats? So everyone get the coats in immediately.
So for drop-off spots, we'll have more information on the YouABQ podcast online. We'll also have links to your websites and social media handles. Any other events coming up that you guys need to plug, or that you're taking volunteers? You said you're hiring now for for the Christmas rush, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. We're looking for people that want to help spread Christmas cheer out there. So
Not me.
no.
No, not Uncle Grinch.
Uncle Grimpy. Well, that's great. We really appreciate you guys stopping by. Chantelle and Roxanne, Big Jim Farms. And again, where's Big Jim Farms located? Off of Montano?
Montano between 4th Street and Coors.
Right across from the ex-Unser Museum.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I didn't know that either. I just thought you guys were all Corrales until
Yeah.
I picked Chili's. You guys are all over the place.
Yeah, tune in, YouABQ. Chantelle and Roxanne, thank you so much for stopping by talking about Big Jim Farms. I think it's a fantastic addition to our community. It's all about Albuquerque.
Season 3, dude, we're kicking it off right.
Nice and cozy, you know? I'm just
Yeah,
feeling cozy.
just a nice amber.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned to the third segment. That's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. Stay tuned.
Hi, we're back. Segment 3. And I appreciate the Wagners coming on. Great guests. Now we're getting into Skip's Tips.
Oh, that's right, it's Skip's Tips. Anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun in real estate or real life. Home buyers, here's how to find the best deals in a high interest rate market. Number 1, search for listings that have a high days on market. Homes are typically selling in a couple of weeks. However, some properties are sitting a lot longer. If that's the situation, the seller is more inclined to make a deal with the buyer. Also look for homes that are recently fell out of escrow and are now back on market. Sellers are feeling the pressure to get that property sold, so there's an opportunity to negotiate closing costs and other things. Vacant properties. If the property is sitting vacant, that means nobody's there to rent it out. So the seller's feeling pressure for carrying that vacant property and more than likely carrying their existing property. So if you can find a vacant home, chances are there's a deal to be had. Tenant occupied properties. Properties that have a renter in place are a pain in the ass to show. So buyers typically avoid them. If you can find a property that's been rented out or has a tenant in place, a lot of times the sellers are more willing to negotiate a lower price or better terms for a buyer. And lastly, the time of year that you decide to shop for homes matters. When there's fewer buyers to compete with in the later months of the year, typically a home seller is going to be willing to make more concessions or give you a better deal. So that's 5 ways that you can find deals in high interest rate markets. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, we're back. And season 3, what a good way to kick it off.
You know what I love about season 3 is just this mood lighting back here.
Yeah, all of a sudden we've got lighting.
We paid our electric bill. And so look, it's like a whole new situation.
Whole new world like Aladdin.
Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings here on the Education Channel or worldwide at the YouABQ podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Heart. Look at that. EDC. Heart.
This is
Heart.
all about you, ABQ.
Thanks for tuning in.
You're watching YouABQ.